Hey, good morning. Spiritual Chuck here. Turned the clock on, turned the phone on, it's 5:59. And I crashed out last night and didn't wake up till now. It's a good sign. Just happened to look at my RF meter and it was on 5, which is as low as it goes. So I got some good sleep last night. Traffic's already going. I thought I'd just give you a day in the life of a wandering guru for yesterday. And I woke up in the woods feeling pretty good. A beautiful day. Didn't get in a hurry. Just got out on the highway and started walking. I walked about, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles, maybe more. Excuse me. And came up on this exit and realized I didn't have any money. So I didn't know what I was going to do for, my basic daily consumption. You know what I mean? I found cigarette butts as I was walking, so I had some tobacco. And I come across this exit and walked down in this exit, and here was a Chevron station, a blue Chevron station. And I listened to a tarot report the day before, and the synchronicities of this report are worth mentioning. The lady had said something about the color blue, and she had no reference to why the cards were mentioning blue, and I didn't either. And anyway, I come through this exit, and the only thing around was a Chevron station. And I'm like, okay, unless I want to walk a mile this way or a mile that way and get into all that. And I said, well, I don't know if Chevrons have been. And I thought back, and I thought, well, there were some good Chevrons experiences that I've had on my journey, and then there's some that were just not fruitful at all. And I finally decided, well, you know what, let's just do it. And so I walked down there and just walked right in the store with my packs on, my backpacks, and said hi to this guy. Shout out to the gentleman at the Chevron. I can't remember his name right this second. Probably should have made this video yesterday, but I was all jacked up, and I wanted to calm my cells down before I made this video. So now I'm going to have to recall it. But anyway, I can. Let's see. I might think of his name in a minute. Anyway, I told him what I was doing, and and he looked at me. He's kind of like, well, how's that working out for you? And I'm like, it's working out great, man. Got 1,000 views or something like that. I don't even know how to check my views. And the last I checked, I had 100 subscribers. God bless you guys. God bless everybody that sees this information, because you are blessed. Particularly if you go into the waters and you do listen to the wisdom of the ages that, I'm just a catalyst for. I'm not any different than, a tarot card report lady or something, where I'm a catalyst for the mother and the father and the information, the life, the light. So, and then I said, look, I'm looking for a plug. He said, there's one right here in the store. I said, well, do you have one outside? And he said, I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, I tried the one in the store. It didn't work. So I went outside and I found one outside, right over by the dumpster. And the dumpster wasn't visible to anybody. So it was a great opportunity to just go dumpster diving. And I got in there and I found lunch. And I found a whole carton of cigarettes. First time that's happened. And oh yeah, I meant to tell you, I found a Post-it pad. You know, the little 3x3 Post-its, or 4x4 Post-its, whatever they are. I had been looking for one of those a week ago at a dollar store, and I couldn't afford them. They were like $2, and I wound up buying the little spiral notebooks that I don't really like because they're like a little antenna in my pocket, you know. But so I found a blue Post-it pad, a full pad. I'm like, what are the odds that's blue? You know, like the water's from above. And then when I got to the station and found the cigarettes, it was a whole carton of blue Lucky Strikes cigarettes. A whole carton. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And we're at a blue Chevron, you know. The synchronicities, folks, are just, you know, they're beyond logic. They're not something that I can, you know, justify to you. They're just amazing. You have to be here, you know what I mean? And that's that plasma consciousness. That's the consciousness of the pleroma, or the mother, or the synchronicities, or the what are the odds. And that's what's really going on here. You know, it's like, okay, I can tell you these circumstances and stuff. Anyway, I charged the phone most of the way up, like 77%, and then I decided to go around and see. There was another plug on the other side of the station. I mean, this station had more plugs than any station, and I was like, all right, man, this is great. So I plugged in on the other side, and I went over and sat over there by the air machine, you know, where people air their tires up. And this lady, African-American lady, real nice lady, she's out there. She pulls up and starts airing her tires up, and I told her, I said, I just to break the ice, I said, you know, I remember when those machines were a quarter, you know, and now they're $2, right? But anyway, she's like, yeah, me too. And anyway, I just got a chance to break the ice with her, and I told her, you know, from a distance, I said what I was doing and this and that, and she walked over towards me, and I said, hey, I want to give you this Post-it. This is what I'm doing, you know. And I told her what I was doing and walking across the country, and got a chance to just briefly tell her. And she got back in her car, and then she got back out of her car and come back over and gave me $5. And I'm like, wow, thank you so much. And that was enough, you know. And then I thought, wow, I can go buy some water. And then another guy comes up, and he's telling me about his plight, that he's been in this little town for 3 months with him and his dog, and in a hotel room, no doubt. And I'm like, well, that's probably costing you a fortune. Kind of sounded a little shady. I didn't know what to think of it. It's like, okay, a really cool looking dude, and white dude, long hair, hippie dude. And he'd kind of come from the same area that I had, up there by Blue Ridge and roundabouts. And anyway, he said he was on his way back to Colorado, and that he lived in Colorado for a while. So shout out to him, and I hope he makes it back to where he's going. I didn't really get a chance to talk to him because I was talking to him, and then this lady in this car, she's like pulled up next to the station there, and looked like she was getting sick. And I just had this immediate desire to go over there and tell her about some distilled water. And I just got up and I said, "Hey," I said, "are you sick?" And I went over there and I kind of sat about 10 feet from her and told her about the distilled water. She was a delivery person. Her name is Liz. Shout out to Liz. God bless you, Liz. I hope you look into the waters. I really do, because they really will save your life in so many ways. Anyway, so I took but she said, "Oh, I've got some water." I said, "No, that's not water." I said, "If you drink some distilled water," I said, "you'll feel better, I guarantee you." And she said, "Well, I don't have any money." She was I think she was like a Uber delivery driver or something. And she was waiting on her next order. She says, "I can't, I don't have any money and I can't." And I said, "Well, hang on a minute." And I went in there and got her some Aquafina. And shout out to the Chevron, shame on you. The small bottle of Aquafina was $1.89, and the quart size was $3.69 for a bottle of water. And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." They're like $1.20 in Walmart, Or I've seen them on sale, the 2 quart size, the quart size, 2 for $2.22. And that's a pretty good deal for what's going on. And anyway, so I got her a small bottle. I almost wish I would have got her the big bottle, because but I didn't. Anyway, and I took it out there and she drank about half of it, and I kept talking to her I told her about distilled water and what it does. It's like this negatively charged water. When you drink it, it attracts all the positively charged inorganic matter in your body and flushes it out of your system through your feces. And it makes you the clear one, the Viracocha. It decalcifies your pineal gland. You start dreaming again. It's a miracle. Distilled water is a miracle. And so I was telling her about that, and she started brightening up right away. It was like she said, "I already feel better." It's like, you can say it's mind over matter, but she literally, within a minute or so, started feeling better. And then she forced some change on me, 3 times, "Liz, and you didn't let me have a good for nothing there. But God bless you." And let me think. And so I gave her my channel information, and she got a call. And so she took off. And I turned around, and this cat from Colorado, he's like, "Hey man, yeah, well, I gotta go." And so I didn't get a chance to talk to him. So that was about it. And the sun was going down, it took all day to charge the phone, And but I got some lunch, and I went back in there and told another guy that worked at the store, a young man, shout out to him. I can't remember his name either right now. But I gave him the channel information and showed him the RF meter before I left. And but I had to go because I had to go find a camp spot. Anyway, I wound up walking about another 5 miles, almost 4 miles maybe. And here's this old dude. There's a truck on the side of the road, this old dude, and he had pulled off the highway, and where the concrete met the dirt, it got really deep, there was a big rut there. And this guy literally, excuse me, this old man Frank. Shout out to Frank, 78-year-old African-American dude, bricklayer, a mason, a real mason. And he was, I saw his truck there, and I was walking up on his truck. Took a while. Come to find out, he had to pull over immediately because he had this major cramp. And he stopped the truck and to deal with his cramp. Right? And I later told him, I said, he had just passed 2 big cell towers. I had walked by them, and I'm like, man, these things are huge. I put my earplugs in deeper, wet them and put them in a little deeper as I was walking by and made sure I was in the grass. They were huge, right by the highway and close to each other. These cell towers are big. And anyway, right where he was passing those cell towers, he had his cramp. And I've talked about cramps being symptoms of COVID. And it's where your cells are bound up in like a traffic jam, And so I told him about that. And I said, there's no mistakes why you got the cramp when you got the cramp. I said, you got a cell phone? He said, no. He said, it must have been them cell towers. Anyway, he said it was so bad he had to stop the truck. He stopped the truck and he got it stuck. And he bottomed out his axle on the concrete and just about burned his tire up. He was smoking his tire when I come up to him. And I'm like, hold up, man, hold up. I mean, he wore the tread off his tire. And then he slammed it back into neutral while the tires were still turning, and you could hear the transmission clicking. I mean, this guy was, I was worried about him. Anyway, we're trying to get him unstuck, and here comes another man. He's got a big old Dodge Dually, and he pulls around. This is a real handsome, this dude looked like rock, African-American dude. There's a lot of African-Americans in Georgia. Brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and he says, he takes his brand new Dodge Dually and backs up and gets behind this guy and gets a blanket, and he's got this brand new bumper, and he's going to push this guy. And I'm in the back of this old man's truck holding the blanket so this guy can pull his dually up to the tailgate of the truck and literally push the guy out with the tailgate. And I'm jumping back going, man, that tailgate's fixing to pop. But it didn't. And so we both helped this old dude get out. And then the old dude wasn't going to give me a ride. He took off right when I got up to him. And that's when he got stuck. And I said, so he got stuck trying to drive off, without giving me a ride. And he got stuck right there. And I'm like, wow, man, what are the odds? I said, see, that's what you get. Synchronicities, right? And so, anyway, we get him unstuck. And he gives me $3, and I'm like, man, you don't have to give me your last $3, brother. And he tries to give it to the other guy. The other guy won't take it. Shout out to him, man. He's a good guy, honest dude, just a good dude. Took his brand new Dodge Dually and risked this new bumper, on this old pickup, this old dude. God bless both. Love is a funny thing, We'll do all kinds of stuff for love. Anyway, so Frank's going to give me a ride now. And I'm like, he's like, I'm just going a mile or two up the road. And I'm like, well, man, I said, I'll take it. And because there ain't no good woods here. These woods are all thinned out. And he said, yeah, I see that. I said, I'm looking for some good woods to camp in. And So I throw my stuff in the truck, and we're riding down the road, and it's bumper to bumper for a while, almost the whole time. He gives me a ride, I don't know how many miles, 2 or 3, something, and winds up letting me out just, right in the middle of the highway there, where I said, this looks like good stuff, and I pulled my RF out, and it was low. And so I said, yeah, man, this is a good spot. I'm a mile off of exit, so I'm good. Anyway, I got a chance to talk to Frank and tell him about the channel, and gave him my channel information. And his wife was sick that day, and she's got diabetes, and he's shaking his head. He says she got all kind of things wrong with her. And I said, Frank, I said, God sent me to you, man, for a reason, brother. I want you to look at my channel. I want you to get your family, anybody to, because I didn't know if he could, do the YouTube thing or not. But I said, just look at this channel and look at the information on it. There's something here that cures everything but a broken bone. I'm telling you. And anyway, I got a chance to share with him, and he got it, and he's like, you know what? And he was talking about God, and he said, there ain't nothing but God. And God believing man, Frank. And I think he's gonna look it up. And I told him to go get her some distilled water before he goes home. And told him about it can be Aquafina or it can be distilled. And he said he'd do it. So there you go. And then I found this campsite. I didn't really do justice to my day, but that's what I got yesterday. And it was blessings, plenty of blessings. At 22:22, I said that. Wow. Wow. Ever notice that word wow? W-O-W. And if you turn it over, it's mom. Pretty cool, huh? Amazing word. Wow. Honestly, it feels like I've been talking for about 5 minutes, and it's 22 minutes into it. It's like time is speeding up, and it is for me, and it is, they say it is for the world. And there was a guy he said, in this Kali Yuga age, 3 days ardent yearning for God is sufficient to know God. And it's like, wow. 3 days ardent yearning to know God. And that's why I talk about Asparsha Yoga and about the fast way to know God. And but there's some precursors there. There's some important things you need to know, and one of them is that you have to have normalized cells. It's like go in the woods. The woods are the best place. I experienced my Asparsha Yoga in a steel storage unit, and Dan Winter does not recommend that, particularly because you can't get access to the pleroma. You can't get access to the angels, and the make your exodus, for one thing. You have to have an open sky to do that. And you have to be in 0 rads. You have to be in 0 radiation. So that's the challenge, folks. Is that where are you going to get 0 rads and an open sky? And I'm in the woods, but the sky's there. I can see it. It's right there. So it's an open sky. And the other challenge is you have to do it in bliss. You know, you can't do it in fear. You have to do it in bliss. It's like, it's a totally different experience, a plasma toroidal exodus. You know, it's a tornado of plasma consciousness with the capacity to go universal, you know, to exit this cosmos into the universe, into the Father. And that's ideally our inheritance. So listen to some of my other videos on that. And shame on me on the cigarettes. I've been into the waters more, and I thought about these cigarettes, and I said, this is it. You know, this is the final gift of the mother. This is the parting gift of the mother on the tobacco, you know. And now I can walk down the highway and practice not picking up any cigarette butts because I'm abundant. And in so practicing that, I can prepare myself to run out and not pick any more up. So I'm going to practice not picking any more cigarette butts up. They're everywhere. Half cigarettes all over the place. Just one after another after another. How's a guy supposed to quit smoking? You know what I mean? It's like, well, look, okay, Mom gives me a whole carton, and then I don't have to do that. And I practice not doing that. And then when I run out of these, I'm done. We'll see what happens. But thank you, God. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, people. Peace, love, and light. And please don't be afraid of the dark. Spiritual Chuck out and in.